Hello, my friends. I'm Rick. You're seeing the table, right? We're sitting here at my work, of course. It is a Monday morning. It's very slow. I'm actually kind of, piddling around a little bit. I need to milk some hours. Let me rephrase that. I just need to generate some extra hours. I got plenty of paperwork. I always got paperwork to do. This is the, well, it's supposed to be the cover for this pad, and it doesn't fit properly. This is the model I asked for that they sent me, and it doesn't work. And of course, I spent $20 damn on it, and I tried to kit bash it a little bit to make it work. I still had to figure out how to put a hole in here and extend this hole here. You know, it needs to come down here further. This is where the head jack would go for the earplugs, and then of course the sound's actually down in here where this stuff's at, where this should be on the other side, and it just doesn't line up the way it's supposed to. And of course, I spent $22 damn on it, and now it's too late to send it back. I don't know. It's so hard to find. It's like when I order, you know, my new phones. My phones are usually 2 generations, 3 generations old compared to most y'all's phones. I get mine from the Walmart special cabinet, you know, because I won't want to spend $40, $50 for one of these things, because I'm going to chuck them and throw them out. They're going to drop. There's all kinds of other stuff going on. What you can't see, of course, is on the screen behind you. We'll see if we can move it or not. You can see got a little bit going on there. There must be a magnetic edge to the bottom of this thing, because it's sticking to this metal doohickey pretty good. So we are currently in this section on the core book. This is page 105 according to this, out of 370 or something like that. I mean, at 318 or so pages, so I'm only a third of the way through. You know, as you can see, this being where I have been, and where we have yet to go is quite a bit. And currently what we're looking at is genome genetics. One of the things about Stellar Frontiers that makes it different from a lot of other games is that the mechanic rules are prominent up front for you to create stuff for your setting. So genetic and genomes, or other, which is what I choose to call races, but they come in several categories. We got the pure on humanity. We have a lot of augmented humanity. That means after the fact, after you're born, you can have, you know, cybernetic implants and bio organs implanted in you. You can do a lot of physical changes to yourself. The limits are really only limited on your funds and your imagination and your willingness to go there. I mean, seriously, we're talking 8,000 years in the future. That should hope that there's a lot of things changed from today's standards of both what's capable and what psychologically we think it should be and shouldn't be. We have a lot of absolutes today that's shameful for humanity to be that way, you know, in this quote civilized modern era that we're supposedly in. So we need the mechanics to set out from the beginning, so you know how to create them from scratch yourself. And then of course we have this panopticon of pre-created, pre-generated player characters or genomes, and many of these are based off of player beta test games that were done in the past, and they were fairly good characters, or fairly well thought out genomes. So we left them in, or I left them in. In this current version, there's quite a few of them. I'm likely to shuffle down to about a dozen to thin down the page count a little bit. And I mean, I still have to go back and re-edit everything I've got to this point. I don't like the font size is too high in the first quarter of the book. It needs to go down to 10, 9, and 8. 10 for the headings, and 9 for the main body, and 8 for anything smaller. You know, any sub body and inserts, that kind of stuff. And it needs to be consistent all the way through. Then there's of course the bullet points, things like that. In the type version, they're nicer. I'll have to go back and adjust all those at some point, or I won't. You know, it's a matter of looking at stuff. And then there's the never-ending typos. I mean, I'm looking at one right now that that just says BT. Eventually enough will be produced. So there must be a BUT in there, right? Must be a U in there. So just looking at a glance, there was a damn typo. So general genome attributes. And then we have the natural attributes chart, the genetic enhancement chart, the genome DNA enhancement chart. You don't think about any of this crap till you start having to do this stuff. It's crazy, and I don't know where the hell I came up with half this crap. Genetic enhancements, naturally occurring attributes can stack with each other with the skills and gear unless saying otherwise. So we roll randomly for your new creation. In this case, we say it has 2 genetic enhancements. So we look at genome attributes. Aside from aesthetics, the reasons one might blend DNA to create an unusual, unique genome is on large scale is to enhance humans in some way, to give them the natural abilities that other species have, or to add genetic enhancements, even bioorganic organs not naturally occurring in the original. Take a dog, for example. One of the few canines attributes that we might find useful in humans: superior smell, a natural sense of loyalty, endurance, superior hearing, a pack mentality, superior speed. All these are good attributes that in the right kind of format. So if you're going to create a security guard or a genome whose goal is to be defenders and protectors of something else, then a canine DNA implementation is probably not too far out of line for that sort of thing. Just a few examples of something that could be useful in creation of soldiers or protectors. While the majority of known genomes were originally designed to be super soldiers for one great house or another, not all were created for that purpose, right? So the most common one would be the Ovinus, which is a sheep head, and this is actually a human ovine DNA splice. So you've taken a lot of the attributes from a sheep and turned them into and put them into people. And so what do we end up with? We're geared for this paper pushing bureaucrat that absolutely loves that environment and thrives in it, and in a lot of aspects are quite happy being in that servile second tier role. And so this takes the burden off of everybody else who doesn't want to deal with that stuff. So the downside is you literally get a bunch of nervous Nelly sheep types running around with the occasional black sheep tossed in. So I mean, there's the positives and negatives that go along with it. So in the process of creating this stuff, I mean, I had to come up with some pretty crazy things, and that led to other things, and I honestly couldn't tell you the why. All right, so we get into the four rules of common sense. Appearance. Random genome appearance chart. So get canine-like, feline-like, reptilian-like, primate-like, equine-like, bovine-like, ursoid, the list just goes down. Genome attributes, natural attributes, naturally aggressive or intimidating appearance, naturally occurring stubbornness, intensely charismatic, natural armor, natural weapon, naturally stealthy, naturally more sly, adds natural physical attribute. Then we get down to genetic enhancements: enhanced reflexes, enhanced genetically enhanced genetically charismatic, genetically enhanced speed, enhanced armor, enhanced olfactory senses, etc., etc. And then we get into bioorgans, body points and size. That was something like, a lot of systems come up with body points or hit points. And I thought, I want this game to be fairly lethal. I want, like real world, it doesn't take much. Our weapons can deal out far more damage than our bodies can take. And considering how much electronics, technology, implants, and so on and so forth the characters would have available to them, and the NPCs would have available to them, the body themselves should not be overly robust, in my opinion. So the smaller the genome, the weaker it is. The stronger it is, the more body points it has. But they're all pretty generic. In this case, the average human has 3 body points, or 30, depending on how you want to look at it. So from a vehicle scale weapon and up, you got 3 points before you're evaporated. Whereas opposed to a personal scale weapon, you have 30 points. So that machine gun can take a few hits from that machine gun, but you're going to take 1 hit from that autocannon, and then you're toast, and it likely and rightly so. And then of course, your body mass has some effect on that, right? So we just kind of put that in the same category, and then we get into the various genomes, and right off the bat, there's 4 of them. There's 2 to a page on average. We'll see how that plays out. and there is a lot of them. That's the issue. Just the aviaries alone take a sub chapter by themselves. I mean, they're so damn big, they belong in they belong in their own damn book. And that's kind of where I was looking at some of the stuff. I was talking with Steve about it a while back, and I thought maybe we need to cut this down in half or by a third, and then the rest of these can just be added someplace else down the road. And then, of course, that brings us to the NPC interaction chapter. So depending on the level of game you have chosen to pursue, interactions between non-player characters and personalities from other players involve interaction. This can come in the form of negotiations, investigations, interrogations. They can be in-depth or very basic depending on your needs or your desire. Quick, dirty interactions are the simplest but lack the flavor and possibilities created by storyline interactions, so on and so forth. So we got all the mechanics that we need in there for that sort of stuff. Anyway, I just thought I'd just, you know, drop a video on what we're doing, why we're doing, how we're doing. Till next time.